And welcome back to the Correspondents on Voice of America. I'm Mil Arcega in Washington. Well, turning to U.S. politics now, whether it was his plan to build a wall on the Mexican border or scuttle trade deals or renegotiate old ones, Donald Trump won the U.S. Republican presidential nomination largely by appealing to white working-class voters. Despite a very bad couple of weeks for the Republican candidate, Trump's support among that group has been quite steady. VOA correspondent Aru Pandey traveled to Pennsylvania, a key election state, to talk to Trump voters about why they support the brash, fast-talking businessman from New York.
Bob Bolus is not shy about who he wants as America's next president. The Scranton businessman supports Trump because he wants a different America, one in which the borders are closed and imports are banned.
Trucks like this will be running all over the United States again, dealing with American-made products in America, not from some foreign-made product in a foreign country.
This sentiment is not uncommon among white working-class voters in Northeast Pennsylvania, says Muhlenberg College professor and Scranton native Christopher Borick. A recent poll showed Trump leads 53 to 31% over Clinton among non-college educated whites in the state.
They feel threatened because of the loss of their jobs. They might feel, when they weave that together, at least in the narrative, that some of that is because of trade deals or because of immigration.
While the demographics may favor Donald Trump with a majority white working-class population, make no mistake, this is a Democratic stronghold, with Democrats sweeping the last 6 presidential elections here in Pennsylvania.
And that report by VOA's Aru Pandey. And joining me now to talk politics, senior VOA national correspondent Jim Malone is with us, along with ace VOA reporter Katherine Gypson. It's great to have both of you on again. Jim, no question that Trump enjoys a very loyal following among a certain subclass of white voters, but I don't think he's doing a lot to widen his base of support. What do you think? Is he doing enough to attract a wider audience?
No, some recent polling shows that he's actually hurting now among another key group of Republican voters who traditionally come out, which is whites with a college degree. Mm-hmm. Mitt Romney, John McCain, a number of recent Republican nominees have done very well with that group. And it's now showing that Trump is slipping, including in Pennsylvania, where we just had that report. In fact, the whole thing here is the way the state polls are going right now in some key states. Clinton is trending up, Trump is trending down, and this is casting a pall over the whole Republican Party. They don't know how far this is going to go down.
A lot of people worry, but Katherine, whatever happened to the so-called presidential pivot? I mean, he went from an economic policy speech to all of a sudden one gaffe after another. I mean, forced errors.
Right. You know, a lot of Republican voters would like to know the answer to that question. What happened to the general election pivot? Trump is doing what he found to be useful for him during the primary campaign season. Standing out amongst a field of 17 people, saying these controversial things that get him the media attention. But really, in a general election campaign, if you're in, especially with all the high unfavorables with these two candidates, Trump and Clinton, if they're getting media coverage, it probably means they're getting bad media coverage, and that's not a good thing with less than 100 days to go.
And to add to that bad media coverage, I mean, Donald Trump raised more than a few eyebrows this week when he told voters at a rally on Tuesday that Hillary Clinton would get rid of the Second Amendment. So therefore, the Second Amendment supporters ought to do something about that. I think we have a bite exactly what he said. Let's roll that, and I'll have you guys comment on it.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But
I mean, Jim, he denies that he actually is trying to incite violence. He's basically claiming that this is just a way to get voters to come out in the polls, Second Amendment voters. What's your read on this?
Well, one thing we know about Donald Trump is he actually pays close attention to the news coverage of what's happening, and he seems to change his tune almost daily. He then came back and said he was kind of joking on that and said that, you know, he was talking about the lobby, the powerful coming together of gun rights supporters. Look, here's the thing. The Clinton campaign, since the conventions, is determined to show that he's untenable as a president. And in the last few weeks, Donald Trump has been aiding and abetting that effort to an astounding degree.
And then just Thursday night, he accused the president of being the founder of ISIS. And again, another comment that he's dialing back. Can't you guys take a joke?
Right. Said that it was sarcasm. And this is the pattern that he goes through with these comments. He says something that's just broad enough that his supporters can read what they want into it. Then he starts to get the media attention. That is what he's seeking, and then he gets the media backlash and dials it back. And we go through this again and again.
I mean, this is obviously helping the Hillary Clinton camp, but Jim, I mean, Hillary has her own problems. Should she just sort of like watch this, sort of let this play out? And
that's
not
what
say
they're
anything?
doing right now, and there's some evidence to support it's helping her. Yes, she's a flawed candidate. People don't trust her that much more than Trump. But right now they're benefiting from this. Remember back in the spring, the primaries, Trump would say outrageous things, didn't seem to hurt him. This is a different situation now. And some of these things, like the battle with the Khan family, these things now are sticking a bit more. It's a different electorate he's dealing with, and the consequences are much broader.
Catherine, if an election were held today, we'd have a clear winner, wouldn't we?
I think we would, because of where Trump is in some of these key battleground states in terms of polling. The Electoral College numbers just don't work in his favor.
And I guess the question, Jim, is does he really want the presidency?
Well, I don't know about that. He's still in there. Here's the other thing. A lot of Republicans, though, are wondering if he does, and some of them are urging the party to support Congress candidates and not Trump.
Well, this gets just curiouser and curiouser. I know we're going to be talking to you guys in the coming weeks. Thank you, Jim and Catherine. That's our show this week, but we are back again next week for another edition of The Correspondents. Meantime, stay up to date with all the latest news from around the world at voanews.com. You can also check out all our shows there. Just click on the Programs tab on the upper right. We're also on Facebook and YouTube at VOA The Correspondents. For now, I'm Mil Arcega. So long from Washington.